Welcome to Tarot Predictions, and that will be your weekly reading for the duration of 9th of October to 15th of October. Let me shuffle the cards. We are about to see how the week is gonna go. Yeah, hello guys, hello Letitia. So a few things before we start. This isn't really an announcement, but it's kind of like I decided to do something with the background of the studio that I'm taking these lives and basically the place that I'm working at. So you are about to guys start seeing a lot of changes here in the background. The first one is the warm lights I'm using, as it does look like the quality of the image is much better than using cold light and before cold white light. Okay, so that being said, this is one of the things I want to tell you. And the next one is that obviously if you do want a reading with me, you can always purchase one at www.tarotpredictions.net, and as soon as the reading goes through, the purchase goes through, we are going to schedule a convenient time for both of us. So that being said, we're going to Aries first. Let me cut. So Aries, first card, that will be the Death card. The second card is going to be the Two of Pentacles. And we got the Ace of Swords as a third card. So that will be, guys, a week of insight and a week of analyzing the past and how we can implant it into our week and into our future. Very good week for those who are about to learn stuff. Very good week for those who are about to, try to acquire new knowledge, new skills, and basically new qualification. But just to look at more practical view on these cards, that will be a week of changes. Obviously, it's because we do have these two cards. Most likely these changes will come into our personal circle. It is less likely to be in the career field. Personal circle, I mean, like friends, family, relationship, not that much either. So it is kind of like you, Aries, are going to be very busy paying attention to your friends, very busy paying attention to your connections and to your communications. And that's the thing, guys, as shenanigans here and there are going to emerge, and it does depend how you're going to accept those kind of minor deviation from the ongoing plan that you are trying to strive on during the duration of the week. So what the cards are kind of really telling you to guys is to how can I really express it well, is to allow yourself to be a little bit more adaptable. Actually, you have to be quite more adaptable, and you need to accept every single minor change along the road as a blessing, as something that you can work with, as something that you can utilize, and that can make you much greater and much much better. So that being said, this is something that reminds me of a person I quite admire, and that person says that it does look like how you accept failure. What I mean is that your mindset upon failure. Some people use this failures, to self-pity, to kind of like dramatize about their bad fortune and bad luck. Other people accept failure as a road to perfection. What I mean is that when they fail, they try harder and they succeed eventually. So it does depend on your mindset. I mean, these things, because we do have the Death card here for you, Aries, these things that you need to kind of give up from, these things that you need to let go of, that could be, unhealthy habit, that could be unhealthy communication, unhealthy relationship. I'm not talking about romantic relationship. I'm talking about relationship with a person, relationship with a friend, or these kind of stuff, something that is not that vital to your life. But exactly those kind of letting go things, which are going to ignite a certain emotions in you, that you should have not have done that communication, or you should have not have trusted that person that too much, or you should have done it different way, needs to be faced with a certain mindset that, yeah, I mean, a mistake is mistake, obviously, which is not going to be a major mistake for you, Aries, but still it stays a mistake. It should be faced with the mindset that you will learn from it and you will be closer to perfection after that. But if this is about your career, these kind of cards are showing that um, well, you will have a certain insights why things are changing into your career. For example, why your project isn't going as on the, you know, on the direction that you're trying to lead it to, or why your place into your career looks a little bit unstable, or these kind of stuff is that you're going to see, or why your colleague actually have more benefits than you do. It depends what really concerns you, and as soon as you realize that, you're about to realize what you are doing wrong, if there is something that you're doing wrong. That being said, you will have an opportunity to have a correctional exam, if you want to say it that way, which means that, you know, you will be able to regain back, let's say, experience from your previous, you know, mistakes, and implant it so you can reach a perfection, you can reach success. In relationship, I cannot see how these cards can reflect on relationship, guys. These the death, the two of pentacles, and the ace of swords. But in case this is about your relationship, then these cards are showing that you need to show a little bit more solidarity towards your partner, in a sense that you need to accept the certain negative qualities of theirs, or kind of like, you know, annoying activities of theirs, which are making your relationship not running as smooth as it can be. And it is not running as smooth as it can be, it is because you're not willing to make a compromise. That being said, you have to be more willing to make a compromise here. Now let me shuffle, and we will go to Taurus. Okay, so for Taurus, the first card, that will be the Sun card. So we have very, very good start for you guys. And then we do have the the Four of Swords, and after that we will have the Strength card. So this week it is all about harmony. It is all about having, if you want to say it, family reunion. It is all about performing into one relationship. If it is come for your career, Taurus, it does look like that your performance will be way, way above average. So it is beyond the expectations of your bosses. Now, what is the thing here, guys, is that you can catch up your breath, because you're going to see that, you know, the projects that you are throwing yourself into, or kind of like you are investing into, are now developing the way you are expecting them to develop. That being said, there will be no surprises and there will be no room for errors. And basically the worst timing ever already passed behind you, and now you can actually be, you know, much more positive toward the toward the full unfoldment of your project and of your work. What is the thing here is that the situations you are involving yourself into your career are going to start unfolding naturally, which means that they're going to start unfolding towards success because you're investing into them. And when you do invest into something, you are it is only fair that you will get from it. And this is what exactly is going to happen into you. Now, what is going to happen after that is that you will become much more vigorous and much more eager to throw yourself into more deeds and into more activities and into more projects, which is not necessarily going to be a bad nor a good thing. It does depend how calculative you will be, in a sense that you don't actually jeopardize the harmony, as I said, that you are about to reach. And that harmony will be in between the relationships of your co-workers and the projects that you are running. It will be in between the relationship with your boss and your supervisor, and in the same time again among the things that you are running. So in other words, you should not surpass yourself, or kind of like you shouldn't ask for more than actually can be given to you. If we're talking about your relationship with these three cards, there are only good things that you can expect in there. It is because the sun shows, basically the sun is the card of happiness into one relationship, and it is the card where one partner contributes for the happiness of the other. But these cards more look like a reassurance here, reassurance that your relationship is going smooth, is going stable, and it's going how can I place in words, and it's thriving, okay, it's flourishing, because there is nothing that can jeopardize it from now on. And just because of that, guys, a little bit more passion shown into the relationship ain't going to hurt it at all, which means that you need to be a little bit more active into it. You need to be a little bit more engaging with your partner, and much more proposition should come from your mouth, let's say that way. One thing that you can do here in order to increase that kind of state of relationship is to, well, I don't know how to explain it really in English, but it's kind of like a state where you show, or kind of like seem to have more trust in your partner, in the sense that you don't question everything that they do, and in response you are about to face the same state. What I mean is that they're not going to question what you are doing all the time, and through it the relationship is going to start moving slowly, and not slowly but smoothly, excuse me, and is going to start thriving. Now let me shuffle and we can go to Gemini next. Okay, so for Gemini we do have the Knight of Pentacles with the Death card, with the Two of Swords. A very, very emotional week. It is what is awaiting you guys. Emotional to a sense where you are going to realize that your patterns that you're doing right now, most likely career orientated, is just they ain't going to work, which means that the substantial shift and substantial change of your plans needs to take place. I mean, what I'm trying to say here is that you are going to realize that your projects or your tasks or your deeds are not as simple as you think they are. Most of you also are going to realize that they have thrown themselves into something, or they have plunged themselves into something that they had no idea what it's all about. And right now a huge discovery will be revealed in front of you, and unfortunately you may not like what you're about to find, Gemini. I mean, let's give you a few examples here. Let's say that the previous week you had that flawless project on your behalf. I mean, it was given to you and you saw an opportunity into it. You saw an opportunity to be promoted from it. You saw it as a big fish. But this week you're about to realize that this project was nothing like what it was presented to you. You're about to see that that was rather surreptitious thing. You're about to see that someone is trying to play you out, and this is how it's gonna go. I mean, from there you do have a certain choice to make here with the Two of Swords. That choice, or kind of like that exposure that you're about to do, has to be very well calculated, and by any circumstances should have not been done this week. I mean, this week you need to start gathering up information. You need to start sobering yourself about the surroundings which are around you. You need to kind of like start winning allies. Okay, and on top of that, you will have to try to distance yourself as much as you can from the harmful impact from these kind of activities that you are leading. As I said, very emotional week, just because you're about to realize that you have been basically a victim of a circumstances into your career, and you're not gonna like it. And that will be also kind of like a curse upon your work. That will be um, well, like your work is dishonored. Like your work, it's okay. Leave it that way. It's just like it is dishonored. I would have said something else, but I don't want to get into that. Anyway, so regarding to your career, these cards rather points that you should not throw yourself into it completely, because some of your activities, some of your projects you have been throwing yourself into are not for your benefit, and this is the thing you need to do. I mean, you need to separate what is within your benefit and what it isn't within your benefit. The death card here actually gives rather positive glimmer to the situation, because from it, it does look like that whatever people are trying to involve you into something bad, into something noxious, into something which isn't in your favor, at the end of the day, the circumstances will turn themselves in such way that you will end up from the positive side. The problem is the process of that. Now, the problem is that you will scrape a lot of nerves along the way, and it is not really worth doing it. So, because the reward ain't going to be that high. And again, before you throw yourself into whatever activity is presented to you this week or the week after that, you need to analyze it very carefully. You need to kind of like try to see it from different angles, guys, because the angle it is presented to you, it is not the accurate angle. Okay, relationship wise, for the singles here, we can see a person that is showing up this week, which is going to ignite a lot of emotions within you. Now, is this going to be for a favorable or for disfavorable circumstances that will happen to you? It yet remains to be known, or it is kind of like differs from your own personal situation. But what these cards are telling you guys is not to make any decisions right now whatsoever, because not because, but before you actually make your research about that person. What I'm trying to say is that this person is not what they're pretending to be, and you don't know what you going to like their true face, or you're not going to like their true face. And that's why you need to kind of like postpone or set certain boundaries in between you and them before you make a certain commitment. You need to investigate them. You need to kind of like try to gather information for them. Okay, so after that, we are going to not Gemini, that was Gemini, but we are going to Cancer. Just 1 second, guys. I want to fix something on the stream. Okay, it should be okay now. So yeah. So Cancer now, let me shuffle. I'm fine, Judy, thank you. How are you? Hello, Victoria. Okay, Cancers, Ace of Wands is the first card you got. Then you do have the Knight of Swords, guys. And after that, we do have the Nine of Wands. A very peculiar way. It is actually action-oriented week. Action through which you will be able to kind of like organize your things, organize your career, or organize your relationship, but it will require a lot of boldness. It will require a lot of risks taken, and it will require also a lot of courage. Now, what is the thing here is that you should not do anything that you don't like to do. What I mean is that you need to know that no one can actually make you do things. This is the first thing you need to remember. No one can make you or pull leverage towards you in order to make you do things you don't want to do. That being said, guys, Ace of Wands in the Knight of Swords are actually a card showing you that there is an opportunity coming at the very start of the week, which you have to take advantage of it. No question about that. Talking about your career, that could be the new job, or it could be the proposition you are waiting for, or it could be the man which is going to help you. It does differ from every single situation, but it is definitely a breakthrough. Now, we do have the spark of inspiration here, or the spark of life, and the spark of life is usually something, you know, that presents you with a way out. It does present you with a resolution to your difficulties and to your problem. It does present you with as I said, a way out of your dead end situation. Either way, guys, it does look like that you will have a breakthrough, especially career wise, this week. How you're going to take advantage of that, it is entirely up to you, though the cards are rather advising you, Cancers, to be bold and to be willing to take certain risks, but not miscalculated risks. On the other hand, I mean, you will have that hunch and that sense, that acute perception of what really will be productive and what really ain't going to be productive. Now, the Knight of Swords could be also a person, and if that's a person, then this person, I don't think is going to be a rival, but he's going to give you a very hard time catching up with them. They will work with you on the same thing, you know, but it's just they will be rather more energetic than usual, more energetic than what is needed to be fruitful, which means that their energy, their activity, over hyperactivity is going to hurt more than actually give benefits, and that will exhaust you. That, guys, is going to aggravate and annoy you, and at the end of the day, you will be quite agitated. Now, what is advisable here is that you have a little bit more patience toward this guy. It is because if you play your cards right, he can do most of the job without he even knowing it, okay? And I mean, under the most of the job, most of the dirty work. You shouldn't feel guilt about it, because at the bottom line, he is the one who is proposing to be that way. So you haven't made anybody do what they don't want to do. It is just they wanted a challenge. You gave them a challenge, and everybody is clean in front of fate. But the bottom line of those three cards about your career, Cancers, is that you will have your breakthrough, and in order to take advantage of it, however, you need to be a little bit more bolder, you need to be a little bit more persistent, and you need to be a little bit more tenacious with your approach. While at the end of the day, as soon as you make that breakthrough, you need to hold down your horses, you need to slow down and show patience, to a sense where the things are kind of like aligning with one another, because after a breakthrough there are a lot of uncertainty behind it, and you need to wait until the uncertainty becomes something certain and then act upon it. You need to know that these cards, as much as favorable they are, one wrong step and it can ruin everything, just so you know. Relationship wise, guys, if this isn't a person here, that will be a very active week, which is going to drain your energies. Under an active week, I am talking about a lot of sex. I'm talking about a lot of hanging out, a lot of dating, if you want to say it that way, chatting, texting, you know, phone calls, which is going to exhaust you by the end of the week, and you will probably want the weekend for yourself, so you can contemplate on your own personal things and on your own personal agendas. For those singles, this could play a person, guys, which initiates towards you, but if you are not consistent with their initiation. What I mean is that if you don't reply back to what they are initiate, they will quickly lose interest. And it will be a long game, you know, it will be a game of cat and mouse, and you have to be again patient with it, because this is very difficult. You should not drop the interest, or you should not make it such so they lose interest in you, but in the same time they will not fully commit for a quite a long time, and it will be exhausting game, just so you know, guys. Well, it's entirely up to you, Cancers. Should you participate into it or should you not? Now let me shuffle again, guys, and we can go to Leo. You're welcome, guys. So Leo, Eight of Wands with the Devil card, with the Page of Pentacles. So guys, that will be a period of high amounts of professionalism you need to show into your career. You need to show into your career that you are capable, that you are really the best possible choice for a certain project or for a certain activities. You need to show, or kind of like you need to perform above the average if you do want to actually catch up with a project or with a proposal that are going to consolidate your job for a long term. Now, what is in here, guys, is that you will be very, very productive into multitasking. And on top of that, the multitasking will come easier on you at the duration of this week. Now, the problem will be that you may forget yourself into it. What I mean is that you may spend much more time into exploring new possibilities than taking on the chores you would rather have to go on, or the duties that you would rather have to take care of. So this is the danger here, to being plunged into countless activities which if they not taken on furthermore, they will basically will be unproductive. So you got to pick from couple of them, or kind of like from three of them, which you are going to set your glance upon and which you are going to invest your efforts on. That being said, you will be pretty unstoppable, Leo, this week into your career. I mean, don't get me wrong, but there is nothing you cannot achieve. I mean, you're going to have that acute sense of realization how the things work, and no one will be able to call where that comes from. People may bang their heads against the wall facing a certain problem into their project, and when you come around with only just one look, you will be able to resolve the issue, and that will be a remarkable quality that you're going to have. This is because we do have, guys, that particular card here between these two, and just because that are going to make you very, very valuable asset, at least during the duration of this week. And that's why you may be entrusted with something from a high demand, with something that is very important for the company you're working at. Now, if you are working for a private business or you do have a private business, guys, these cards are showing that a very tempting offer is going to come into your way. Actually, it's not going to be just one, it's going to be a multiple offers that are looking hell of an impressive one. And unfortunately, you cannot take on every single one of them. I mean, you cannot take all of them because you don't have the physical capability to do so. However, which one you're going to choose is irrelevant, because either one of them is going to present you with a fantastic and very well increased income, if I can say that way. So your income in reality is going to be increased in a long term. So as an advice here, guys, you have to take the one proposition, if it is about a private business, you need to take the one client which presents you with the longest term contract. So the longer the contract goes, the better, and you have to take that. I mean, you could have, for example, two customers. One presents you a contract for 3 months, which is, it looks like well paid for 3 months. The other one presents you a contract for 2 years, not as well paid per month, but it is 2 years contract, you know, and you gotta take this one. I mean, these cards are showing that whatever you kind of like, you know, plant this week, its fruits will have a long-term impact upon your work. So I hope that you will plant your seeds very carefully. What I mean is that what you choose to work upon will be for a long-term duration, because for a long time you are about to reap the fruits of your labor. Relationship wise, these cards are rather showing, guys, for a lot of understanding. Okay, that is going to happen in between you and your partner, understanding where two of you are going to bruise upon one another. It is a little bit difficult to be explained. So let me give you a few examples, guys. You thought that your partner is doing something malicious, and you kind of disapprove that, but this week you're about to realize the motives behind it, and you're about to see that this maledict was not a maledict whatsoever. Okay, and that being said, you will want to make an apologizing for it, and not by words but with actions, and that's why you're gonna bruise yourself upon the partner, which they're going to like very much, just to be honest. Now what you need to aim, however, from this position, is to influence your partner, not thoughts but emotions. Now this is the key here. You need to influence your partner state of how they feel toward your desire or your wish to make it up with them. I mean, they have to feel, it is bad to say it, but they need to start feeling guilty, you know. It's because they will realize that they were also unfair by judging you without knowing your motives, and we are seeing a long-term truce here coming this week for you, Leo, into your relationship, if everything is done right. I mean, this is a binding on a soul level in between you and your partner. Now let me shuffle and we can go to Virgo next one. I'm really glad to hear that, Sharon. Okay, so for Virgo, Justice is the first card we are having here, with the Seven of Pentacles, with the Four of, with the Emperor. Sorry, I would say 4 is because the Emperor is number 4. Okay, so I saw a comment, someone got their job lost. I mean, they lost their job, and these cards, they aren't showing any activity, which means that if the case is about job loss, you're not going to get another job this week. Now, this week for you, Virgo, is to work with what you already have. It's because, for what it seems, these cards are showing that your surroundings are a mess. you know. You haven't set straight things into your relationship. If you are working, you haven't set your things straight into your career. I mean, for example, you may deserve a promotion, guys, but who knows that apart from you? I mean, who knows about your achievement? Does your boss know about your achievement? Hmm? Or does your supervisor know about them? Are you allowing someone else to take credit upon your work? This is what you need to start answering to yourself. What I mean is that you need to be a little bit more meticulous about your things, and especially about your possessions, because your possessions, and under your possessions, I'm not talking about money, I'm not talking about jewelry, I'm talking about skills. It is because at the end what matters here is skills, knowledge, influence, connections. Your possessions, are meticulous about them? Are you conserving them? Do you keep them close to you? Because for what it seems, someone is using your possessions for their own benefit. That being said, guys, you need to close things a little bit. What I mean is that you shouldn't be that generous this week. You shouldn't be that compassionate. You shouldn't be ready to help everybody which approaches you. It is because this week is to make the final cut. What I mean is that you need to stop doing what you are doing, either into your relationship, either into your career, and make a serious reconsideration, or kind of like analyzation of what you gain against what you are losing or what you are investing. Because these cards, guys, are showing that there is definitely something you are doing wrong, either into your relationship and into your career, and you're only losing from that. Okay, so it is time to cut the crap here, and it is time to actually be more accountable toward oneself. Now, the others have benefited from us, or from you, Virgos, way too much. What I mean is that they had their fair share, even that the share isn't fair. I mean, they had much more than they deserve, regardless of who that one is, either your father, mother, friends, you name it. Right now, the time is for you to indulge for yourself. I mean, to do something for yourself, to do something beneficial, because it doesn't look like someone else is gonna do it. I mean, yeah, sure, it is your own personal choice. I mean, if you want to throw your resources for someone else's benefit, go ahead and do it. Be my guest, but you, just so you know, this person ain't gonna throw their resources for your own personal benefit, guys. It's not how it works. Okay, so what you need to do here this week, it is take no participation in anything whatsoever, but instead of that, try to conserve your wealth. You know, try to gather up everything you possess. As I said, skills, efforts, knowledge, and try to reprioritize it, try to rearrange it so you can use it for a greater benefit. Just for example, I want to give you one example. Let's say that you can paint fantastically, okay? You are a painter, and instead of painting something that can earn you money, your friend or your neighbor could come to your place and could say that he wants a decoration of their home, and you will gladly lend your hand upon them for free, you know, and that will actually bereft you from the opportunities to make your money, to sell your skill. What I'm trying to say here, guys, is that you can do something very good. I mean, you can do something exceptional, either selling things, either creating things, or talking, or maneuvering, you name it. It is, the personal skill is personal. That's why it differs for every single one of you. But the problem here is that you're doing it for free. And as the Joker says in Batman, The Dark Knight, if you can do something exceptional, you never, ever do it for free. Because people take advantage of that. And people will sell it behind your back without you even knowing it. And the worst of it is that they're going to take credit for it, the credit that belongs to you. So, my whole point here, Virgos, is that you shouldn't be shy to say I did it. And you should not allow someone else to deprive you from the rewards you deserve. So, saying that, just to give attention to the woman that just lost her job, I can tell you that that job wouldn't get any easier with these cards. I mean, actually, it's a blessing that you lost it, because actually it will get worse and worse and worse until the end, where you can't stand it anymore, and you would have want to leave it alone, because you will realize that these people were robbing you. I mean, they're paying you way too less for demanding way too much, because the salary probably is gonna go less and less and less, and the demands, or kind of like, yeah, the expectations are gonna go higher, 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 to a point where you are going to be enslaved. So don't mourn about that. It's just, you need to, reconnoiter your surrounding, and find a different place to sell your skills, because you do have an exceptional skill that can be sold for much greater price. Okay, so now let me shuffle and we can go to Libra. Hello, Karen, how are you doing? So for the Libras, we do have the High Priestess with the Six of Pentacles, with the Empress. Libra, that week is going to be actually very, very, very pleasant. It is a week of preparation, and that preparation will be regarding a personal comfort going into future. Now, it's a very, very trivial reading. I mean, there is nothing really going on that you should be addressing to. It will be perfectly ordinary week. It's your career. You're just going to do your things that you're supposed to do. Into your relationship, you're going to, if you happen to have one, you are going to just indulge into the intimacy with your partner, where both are going to contribute for one another unconditionally, without expecting anything in return. It's basically that's that. There is nothing more to be said. I mean, when something is going without any changes, this is what is going to happen for you. But just so I don't kind of like, strip you off a little bit more insight, these cards are rather asking you to be a little bit more sexually active through the High Priestess, and also to be a little bit more giving than taking if you can. Now, it is possible that people may approach you for a certain help, and while it is good to give them help, you need to realize that you cannot solve their problems, which means that if you can, the biggest help you can give them is to allow them to take care with their difficulties, because through that they're going to realize that actually they are stronger than they are, than they think they are. Okay, but the Empress here, guys, it is showing that you need to use this week that it is coming for doing what you really enjoy, what you really like. It doesn't mean that you should skip work, no, but into your career, into your work, for example, Libras, there will be not that stressful things happening and going on. Actually, you will have quite fair choice of choosing what you can attend to, and through that you can choose to attend to the things, to the activities that really nurture your health, the activities that makes you feel comfortable into them, and to the activities that that are most productive for you. In a sense, where the Empress is interacting with this, with the Six of Pentacles, a certain sacrifices may be needed here. Sacrifices in a sense where you need to sacrifice personal time in order to to perform better into your career, or to sacrifice something from yourself or your partner. Either way, that is going to pay off big time in the future. But what my point here is, Libras, is that if you feel overwhelmed this week, if you're feeling kind of like it is way too much for you to handle, don't hesitate to withdraw a little bit just so you can recuperate and you can get back your strength. Also, it is very important that you approach any kind of situation with it's not the word is not patience, but with a lack of premeditation, you know, regardless of what people were saying, regardless of what the situation implants, of the description of others, you rather need to have a neutral opinion upon it before until you actually can collect an information. And you need to know that as soon as you see, for example, your project, as soon as you see how the things are going into your relationship, you will immediately know how to react. You will immediately know how things are going to unfold in the future. That comes from these cards, and through that, guys, you are about to be able to catch up your breath, because you are going to realize that there is nothing for you to be afraid of. I mean, your job looks solid, your relationship looks solid. If you are single, the loneliness is not going to be able to get into you, because you will have that mindset that if you are single, this is because you haven't met the right one yet, and you would rather wait alone than wasting time and energy with the one which is completely wrong for you. So basically, that's for your reading, guys. Completely Libras, completely ordinary week, where you will have a lot of pleasure doing your things, because you will be good at them, and because they will be quite interesting for you to cope with. I mean, the week is going to be colorful, but not as colorful enough to present any changes and insecurity in your life, and you are going to feel like everything is unfolding and it is playing out in your own turf, and you are the one calling the shots. Okay, so now let me shuffle, and we can go to Scorpio. I should, Judy, I should. I mean, we're 2 ways away from the birth of Jupiter into Scorpio, which should be a fantastic year for us. By the way, something curious about Jupiter into Scorpio. Do you know that the Jupiter into Scorpio enters in 10th, 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 which means 10th of October, which is 10 and 10, and the year 2017 is also broken down to 10, which means 10, 10, 10, and itself it is broken down to 3, so it's a very favorable numerology for the entering Jupiter into Scorpio. Very favorable. Numerous opportunities for us. It's just, it will be ridiculous how much chances we will have. Really ridiculous. Okay, one card wanted to come for us pretty badly, and that will be the Four of Wands. And the next 2 will be the Death, and there we go. So that's that, and then we do have the Four of Cups. And on the contrary of what the Death is showing, this ain't the changing here, guys. Just on the contrary, this is abundance. Abundance through the security we're about to have during this week. It is likely that your career is going to go flawless. We are about to set a certain closure here, a certain closure in the sense where we are going to change our patterns. This ain't going to be a change of our environment, it's going to be a change of our patterns. So the lazy is going to become more devoted. The scattered one is going to become more channeled, more tunneled into what they are doing. The one who will have interest into their things to a point of where they will want to reach a point of perfection. But above everything else, these cards for one's career are showing dividends. They are showing income, and not necessarily a monetary income, guys. They are showing an income of satisfaction through, let's say, the flow of winds which are actually bringing the end of a very, very bad cycle. Now here with these two, we are having an end of a very bad cycle. Okay, I don't know which planets now are in Scorpio, but the bad cycle is virtually gone over. And we are finding ourselves quite fed up with that. That's why the Four of Cups here next to the Death card, Scorpios, are urging us to start searching for the new opportunities that are coming for us, guys. Well, which means that they're not going to be gifted to us, but rather we need to discover them on our own, which doesn't make them less productive and less valuable, you know. But the bottom line is, guys, that these cards are showing big change toward greater heights into our career coming into the next week. So let's say that you are an engineer, let's say that you construct things. That could be a brilliant discovery from your behalf. That could be a breakthrough, a brainstorm of a project that was set on hold because it couldn't be figured out a cost-effective way to finish up the gadget, to finish up the the project itself. You know, you couldn't solve the mystery, but right now you're able to because you put the hard work in, and now the hard work is paying off. The problem comes after that. You need to know that as soon as you solve the puzzle, or kind of like this is the danger here for Scorpios this week, that they will quickly start losing interest. Okay, as soon as they overcome the challenge, they will not care of investing into putting into finalizing the work, although the work has to be finalized as this card it is showing. But the important thing, Scorpios, is that if you're willing to put the efforts into your things, the success is imminent. I mean, you are doomed to have it. There is no question about that. Now, relationship wise, these cards are showing rather improvement through communication. However, this will be a mature communication. I mean, what was done is done in the past, and now you are rather sick being blamed for something, or you're sick blaming your partner for something that was happening in the past, and now it just cannot be reversed. I mean, it is there. If we could have changed our past, well, I would have been baby right now, so I can make the things all different apart from the tarot thing. But regardless of that, guys, it is for us right now, it is the chance for us to make a complete closure. I mean, to be in peace with our previous mistakes or with our previous fortune or whatever. We need to realize that we need to rebirth right now as a phoenix, and we should not carry with us the guilt nor the fortune from the past. What I mean is that we need to start a brand new life in the week that is coming right now. So on that note, Scorpios, be ready to embrace whatever is coming as a change into your life, and that change is going to come through a personal transformation. So if you are not feeling like making exercises anymore, accept that as a positive change, for example, because you will be able to throw that energy into something else which is much more productive. If you're not feeling like arguing anymore with anybody, stop doing it, because you can redirect that energy into something much more productive. It is all about, guys, redirecting your positive energies here. Okay, so this was basically for Scorpio, and through that you are about to see how the things are start falling into their place. What I mean is that if you're finding yourself right now into a very, I cannot say unfavorable, but rather insecure position, uncertain position, you don't know what is going to go, what is going to happen with your job, for example, you don't know what is going to happen with your relationship and these kind of stuff. As soon as you are able to slam the door toward your past and you stop thinking about it, you will feel that there is so much more to your future. You will realize that these things that you are thinking are so vital, so substantial, the whole life it is within them. You're about to realize that this isn't the case actually, and that even if you lose something, it's the world, it's wider and broad, and we can find our happiness in something else. And you will be able to cope with your difficulties from now on with much more ease, with much more lightness, with much more subtlety, because in reality the stake is not as high as I think it is. So that being said, guys, you will become much more bolder into your career, and you will implant much more creativity into it and into your relationship. You will not be as shy. You will not be as hinging to a kind of like not abuse, but to put your partner into uncomfortable position, because uncomfortable position are showing our true faces, and you need to see your partner true face, okay? Because you know that if they decide to leave you through the fact that you're putting them into an uncomfortable position, well, they basically have something to hide, don't they? Otherwise, why they would have been feeling uncomfortable? Why would have they been afraid of that? It doesn't make any sense, does it? Okay, so now let me shuffle and we can go to Sagittarius. But yeah, Scorpios, I mean, the old life definitely comes to an end. Maybe not this week. This week is going to be the start of it. But as I said, probably 2 days from now, or kind of a couple of weeks from now, guys, nothing will look the same. We're going to see the world wider, full of opportunities, full of possibilities. And that will make our problems which we are having right now, our misfortunes and these kind of stuff, irrelevant. Because if the happiness ain't gonna come from one place, well, it's gonna come from others. It's ours to take, so we gotta take it. Okay, now so for Sagittarius, just let me shuffle. Now, Two of Cups is what you do have for first card. Then we do have the Devil. And then we do have the Ace of Swords. And if this isn't the suits are coming in your way, I don't know what that one is. I mean, guys, that could be a seducer, or it could be a completely faithful suitor. At the end of the day, however, you have to be cutting with him. In cutting, I don't mean that you have to cut them away, no, but you need to say, look, look, dude, I mean, I really like you, I really do, but I kind of like, I don't know what your intentions are. I mean, one day you are flawless and you really show that you want a deep commitment. After that, you are showing that it's just, you know, for the shits and giggles and these kind of stuff. And you have to be really harsh with them, in a sense that you really need to start demanding what kind of, you know, what kind of intentions they do have towards you. But that could only happen, I mean, you can compel them to say the truth only if you do say the truth. Okay, so first you need to expose your own intentions, and after that they are going to expose their intentions. You need to know that this will be a very, very emotional week, very tempting week. What I mean is that you are going to feel yourself like the top of the world, like on the top of the world, like you do have the whole intention on the world channeled through a one person coming towards you. This is if you are single, and even that could happen if you are in relationship. I mean, that could be a third party trying to get to your heart, guys. If that's the case, he or she is gonna come out of nowhere. It could be a just, you know, spontaneous introduction where you're meeting with a friend of yours and they accidentally have their other friend with them which you don't know. They will introduce you and bam, the crush happens. But regardless of that, guys, it will be really, really tempting, and you will not be able to drive that person away from your mind. That will be a troublesome if you are in a relationship, because only thing you are going to see throughout the week is the face of that person, that third party person. Now, if we're talking about your career, that could very well be a romantic involvement, or at least flirting into your career, okay? It could happen that way, and at the end of the day, you guys need to you need to make it clear with this person, are you willing to go into deeper commitment or not? I mean, it's after all, it's, you know, there are career relationships among colleagues into it, and some people are okay with it, some people are not okay with it. But what I'm trying to say here is that the state of flattering, the state of you know, trying to seduce and these kind of stuff need to be over quite quickly, in a sense that you need to start demanding serious attention rather than flatters, rather than approaches where the people are trying to, you know, to get to your emotions so they can take advantage of them, okay? Now, what is important also with these cards, guys, is that if this isn't about the third party, but it's completely about your relationship, you're about to spot a very, very strange activity from your partner. I mean, your partner will suddenly become more nicer, they will become warmer, they will become more devoted, and that will kind of like baffle you for a second. I mean, why? You know, it is because they want to share something with you. They want to share something with you. They know how you're going to react. You're not going to be happy with it, but and they're trying to make it up before the accident, if I can say that way, because you're going to outrage for what, as it seems, happens. So, in other words, they were gonna try to favor you before they actually share what they have to share with you. It doesn't have to concern you at all. It doesn't have to be a sharing for, you know, for an affair. It doesn't have to be a sharing for a cheating in these kind of stuff. It could be just for a stupid decision they took on their job, and that you're not gonna like it and these kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, they know that you are going to be agitated, but they what they have to say, and they will try to make it up for you before they say anything. Uh, for your career, if this isn't about a romantic involvement into your career, guys, or attempt for a romantic involvement into your career, then for what does it seems, the team of colleagues will be united because their supervisor or their boss will be a little bit more aggressive this week at work, and neither of you are going to approve their actions, and that's why the collective is going to unite against the supervisor or against the boss, because it is the only way how you are going to survive through that week. I mean, you are going to cover for one another, you are going to, you know, to snitch for one another, if you want to say it that way. You're going to help to one another. You're going to, all of you, I mean, into your career, will try to make the things more pleasant when you're working in team, because your boss or your supervisor, guys, isn't giving you a easy time whatsoever. I mean, they're trying to achieve something desperately. You don't know what that one is. I mean, I don't know what that one is. It will be different for every single company, obviously. But the bottom line is that they have taken a very unwise deadline for what it seems, and now they're worried how they're gonna, you know, how they're gonna keep with it. And unfortunately, they will not. You will be the one who has to keep with it. It's just they are the person with the whip, you know, and they are lashing the whip upon you. And the only way, as I said, you can survive Sagittarius is if you side with your colleagues and make your colleagues side with you as well. Now let me shuffle and we can go to Capricorns. Capricorns, Four of Pentacles for you guys, with the Four of Cups, with the Ten of Wands, and that will be a time of, let's say that will be, guys, a time of unpleasant emotions, because it will be unpleasant because you will have a lot of work to do. Okay, this is completely career orientated reading. It probably has nothing to do with your relationship whatsoever. The problem into your career will be that you would have like to be a little bit more agile with what you're doing. You would have wanted to be a little bit more free with your job, and you would have wanted to be a little bit more, how can I place it in words, independent of what you're doing. So in other words, you will not approve the way of how things are implanted to be done into your project or into your career, or into, you know, the way that your boss is telling you need to do things. You will not be very agreed with it. At the end of the day, however, you got to do it the way they want to do it, and that is gonna cause issues. That is gonna cause big issues into your working place, a craps that you need to clean after that. What I mean is that, yeah, they will not be right. I mean, your boss ain't going to be right. They will want you to do wrong things, wrong approaches, wrong maneuvers for your projects, and at the end of the day, they will clean their hands and will say, I haven't said that, or I didn't meant that, you know. And it's stupid because they can do it. I mean, they can say that and they can get away with it. That's why they're bosses. Okay, and the whole hard work is gonna fall upon your shoulders, Capricorns, unfortunately, to do things right this way. And that means that into your career, Capricorns, this week you have to work double time. That's the only thing that it will be stressful there, and you're not going to like it because you have better things to do rather than wasting time into activities which are going to prove themselves utterly futile in the future, or very recently after they have started. Okay, so that is about career. Money increase here, maybe so a little bit, guys, but it's not going to be as nearly as it could be if you have the freedom that you kind of like required for to be much more productive. Now, relationship wise, these cards, guys, are showing an activity, frantic activity of your behalf to try to secure the relationship, not because the relationship is jeopardized, but because you want to see it that way. Okay, so it is kind of like how can I explain it? You will be annoying. That's the truth here. You will be annoying. You will not mind your own business, but you will involve yourself into any other's business, especially your partner business. So in a sense, you can control everything, or you know everything that is going on around you, just so you can find out that at the end there is nothing you should be afraid of, because your relationship ain't jeopardized whatsoever. And at the end of the day, you're about to see that even though you know everything, if your partner decides to leave, you can't do anything to stop them. It's basically, that's the law of nature. If one decides to leave, no kid, nor a marriage, nor anything can stop them. In reality, no one can stop them. Not even a threat of suicide can stop them. I mean, it's just, that maneuver is really stupid. Anyway, so that being said, guys, you will become a little bit more faithful, or not faithful, but you will have a little bit more faith into the relationship, in a sense where you are going to realize that even if you are worried, even if you try to catch up your partner with cheating, or to catch up your partner with something that they're doing wrong, these kind of stuff, this ain't going to change anything. That's why you're going to leave them the space they require. It is very important as well with these cards, however, guys, try to present your partner with a different, how can I place it in words, with different activities that will surprise them, activities that are going to amuse them, and are going to show them that actually your relationship is not as boring as they're thinking. I mean, the routine doesn't have to be all the same every single day. That being said, you should keep the elements of surprise, as I said, but in the same time you shouldn't startle them, not so ever. I mean, you have to be, these surprises needs to be rather pleasant, and they need to have the wow factor in them. So that being said, it will require a little bit more effort from your end. However, you're going to see that this is going to pay off ultimately. So a devotion is required, yes, into your relationship, Capricorns, but not a devotion where you are becoming a stalker and you are becoming something that is trying, as I said, frantically to control everything that is going on into a relationship. Just on the contrary, guys, this activity and this devotion should be completely focused upon the agenda to present different angles for yourself to your partner. For example, think about it. If you haven't been on a cinema for quite a while, I mean, buy 2 tickets for a cinema. What abstracts you for that? Just spend one night. I mean, give 2 hours away from your precious time to indulge yourself into the cinema. And same things for a restaurant. I mean, when was the last time you had a romantic dinner in a restaurant? Or when was the last time you had a walk in the park? Or when was the last time you just sat down and watched TV? You know, these kind of stuff. I mean, you need to place varieties into your relationship so you can make it much more amusing and much more interesting. This is the actions and activities you need to be focused on, not paying and not minding your own business, trying to be everywhere. I mean, trying to influence your partner's deeds is not going to help you whatsoever. I mean, on the contrary, it's just going to make the things worse for you. Now, let me shuffle and we can go to Aquarius. Ace of Pentacles for Aquarius. with the King of Wands, with the Seven of Pentacles. Just 1 second, guys. So this is, guys, probably a new way of earning money that will be uncovered for you. It will be a proposition from a male. Most likely it will be a brilliant idea, and it will not affect your current performance in your work. That could be a third party which is approaching you with a certain proposition, how to make extra fast money, but the bottom line here is that you have to be quite aware of the full ups and downs and the whole ups and downs upon the situation, because the Seven of Pentacles here is showing us that there is the full picture is not uncovered in front of us. Nonetheless, this particular proposition is going to bring you varieties to work with. What I mean is that you are about to have options available in front of you, especially career-wise, moving on forward. If this isn't about a proposition, then we're talking about your boss, guys, giving you an extra funding, giving you an extra resources to work with. That being said, you will kind of have to figure out how you're going to use those kind of extra resources, okay? And how you are going to use those kind of extra funding, because you may actually invest into the wrong way. What is the advice here is to wait a little bit. I mean, what is going to happen this week, guys, into your career is going to give you all that you need to make success into your business, okay? That could be also someone who has a wish to make a sponsorship for you, or to be your financial injection for whatever reason. But the thing is that you need to be really careful how you dispose dispose with these resources. What I mean is that how you use those resources, because at the end of the day, you have to use whatever is given to you, especially career orientated, the way this person who gave you the resources anticipated. That being said, before you actually start spending this person money, or before you start spending, or not even spending, but taking advantage of the resources that person gives you, you have to you need to have a pretty long and kind of open talk with them, what their vision is, what their agenda is, what they're hoping to achieve, and these kind of stuff, so you can know what you actually count on and what you can actually scribe down from your list, so you don't make any kind of like unapproved actions or maneuvers with that person's resources. That being said, into your career, guys, it does look like that this is going to be very, very positive week, where out of nowhere the resources that you lack are going to be given to you, and you will be able to make certain progress. Now, what I like to talk about a little bit more, that will be a relationship wise. So it is very likely that into your relationship there will be a harmony in place, okay? Because the Ace of Pentacles is always a success into a relationship, and that success is gonna come through an exterior circumstances which are proving you to be much more solid than you are usually looking like. So what I'm trying to say here is I'm going to give you a few examples. Okay, let's say that you have been criticized that you're jobless for quite a while now, and that is really threatening your relationship moving on forward. And suddenly this week something is going to happen, maybe a job proposition, maybe reassurance and these kind of stuff, which from a third circumstances, I mean from exterior circumstances, is going to consolidate your relationship and is going to make it more stable than before. Now, that fact needs to make you wonder how much your partner really loves you. I mean, if they're ready to dump you just because you're jobless, I mean, count on your fingers how much love they have for you, or if they're ready to, I don't know, they're ready to dump you just because you want to go out with your friends every night, just count down how much love they have for you. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It does depend for every single one of you, but what I'm trying to say to you guys is that, yeah, you may save the day this week. Yeah, I mean, your relationship will become much more stable and harmonious and that kind of stuff. But how much long until you get in the same position again? I mean, because it's gonna happen eventually. I mean, you may lose the new job again. You may start going out with your friends again, and the same situation will arise, and you need to ask yourself, can I go on with it or can I not? Okay, so basically that's that. You need to put everything into question this week, Aquarius, because otherwise it does look like, guys, that you are going to either misuse the resources that are going to be given to you into your career, excuse me, and into your relationship. You are about to forget what really was leading your relationship to near end of destruction, you know. And now let me shuffle, guys, and we're going to Pisces. Six of Cups with the Four of Cups with the Eight of Pentacles. And we do have a good news actually indeed, Laura, for Pisces. So these, well, as a Libra, I think it was, these cards are showing that there will be no change whatsoever into either your career nor into your relationship. Apart from that, uh, things are just going to start happening. I mean, they're just going to start happening for you guys, and you will be bored on top of that. What I mean is that the element of surprise will be will be lacking, and everything will be kind of gray in a sense where you will be able to predict every single outcome. You will be able to kind of like come home every night, cook up your dinner and have your dinner, watch the TV, and then go to bed. Everything is going to be completely normal for you guys. That as far as it goes for your career. And also for your career, because we do have these cards, they're showing that some old propositions, some old opportunities may emerge beneath the surface. You may dig them out, okay? Because you will now have the time to spend upon contemplating upon them. Let's say that you had that riddle in the past given to you career-wise, and you didn't have the time back then, but right now you do have the time, so you kind of feel like you have to go back into it and solve the matter. So it's kind of like a week where you have extra time, guys, to take on an old unfinished business regarding your career and finalize them completely and do them right this time. It is important, however, to be noticed that these cards are speaking loudly for those which are single. And for those which are single, these cards are saying that you cannot be single anymore, people. I mean, are you not tired enough from it? That's why you need to start showing to the world that you are ready to make a commitment. How you can do that? Well, for starters, you can start going out more. For starters, you can start taking care for yourself more. I'm not saying that you are not, but on you can do even better. For starters, you can become much more playful with people around you. You shouldn't be that closed within yourself. You know what I mean? You need to start exploring your you need to start exploring your possibilities. You need to kind of like give people a chance. It is what I'm trying to say. That being said, at the end of the day here, during this week, I don't think that you are going to find someone that will suit you very well, but at least you are about to find out, guys, that there are options available in front of you, and that is going to really breathe up a courage within you that life actually have something more in store for you moving on forward. That being said, these cards are rather showing a certain emotional state which it's kind of going to strive you not to be alone, and strive you to seek your happiness. Now the problem is going to be that you're not going to find it this week, because you single people, you're not ready right now to make that big compromises to just accept anybody in your life. I mean, you do have still your celluloid perception of what the person next to you needs to be. However, the process is about to start, and you are about to start seeking for that person which is going to fit best next to you, and eventually you're going to take it. Now, Laura, as I said, if you're not single, anything will go as it is going till right now, even though you will have the opportunity to build it even stronger, to build it even more harmonious, and to even take care of old misunderstandings and old issues that couldn't be dealt with in your past. That being said, this is all for Pisces, really. I mean, everything will go according to the plan this week, guys, even though a little bit boring, without any amusement, without any surprises. But I think that this is the best for the majority of the people. They will not have to worry for their job, they will not have to worry for their relationship, and they will not have to worry for their kids. The only thing that they can worry for is that there will be no I'm not saying no growth. There will be no more expand, which means that there will be no additional activities into their plate, which, like Laura said, that's fine. You know, it's, I mean, you can use that time to perfectionalize the things that you are already doing and things that you are already, you know, contributing to. So that being said, guys, this was the Taroscope for the week that is yet to come, and I thank you guys all for watching. It was really a pleasure to give you these readings. If you do want a private reading with me, you can always buy one at www.tarotpredictions.net, which is written here in the post. And as soon as the purchase goes through, we are going to schedule an appropriate time for both of us so we can perform the reading. And we are going to see each other, guys, next time when I do have live. And until then, I wish you best of luck with the week that is yet to come. And you know, Godspeed. And bye.